Hey there, you're listening to the Group X podcast with Tony Zanardo. Today I'm talking with Jess Joyce, owner and manager of the Shed Small Group Training in Busselton. We chat about how she got into the fitness industry, boutique challenges in a COVID environment, social media's perception of the fitness industry, how to get community engagement, and all things Group X. Jess, thanks for joining me on the show.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's so nice to see your face, though, in all honesty. I do
Thank you.
miss it.
Yeah, thank
Maybe-
you very much. How did you get into the fitness industry? How did it all begin for you?
So it's not a positive one.
Yep.
It came from heartbreak, and a really decent heartbreak I don't think anyone could really imagine. But I was I was in Perth and I was working at Fitness First.
Yep.
And my mum was working for a gym down here who I couldn't say really supported her. The gym's not up and running anymore, but it was a very small gym. Didn't pay her. She said she pretty much wasn't worthy of being paid. She was just doing classes for free.
Wow.
And then I was working at Fitness First, had a bad couple of experiences up there, just working and just being myself. And
Yep.
I don't know, it just wasn't my vibe. I learned quite a lot of things about the group fitness side of stuff. And then I learned about the personal training because I was doing personal training.
Yep.
And I learned about, paying rent, the rules, regulations for a big franchise gym.
Yep.
Anyway, I had gotten pregnant at the time, and it was about close to 3 months. And I miscarried. I remember going into labour as such, and my husband was working in Papua New Guinea and no reception. Anyway, I drove myself to King Eddie while I was in labour, as they call it. Then I miscarried, and that was November. And then remember going through all that heartache and then just being so like, what am I doing?
Yep.
And then shortly after that, I went down to Busselton where Mum was, and they live in the marina or in Port Geographe.
Yep.
And went over, she said, let's go for a wine. So we went to the tavern across the road, which is on the water. And I remember it to this day, and that's 8.5, nearly 9 years ago. And we were sitting there, it was a bottle of rosé, and she basically said, why don't we own our own cycle studio? And I was like, it's, pretty far-fetched and stuff, because I'd been through heartache.
Yep.
And I was sitting there feeling shit for myself and thinking, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
And Mum had this job teaching that she didn't enjoy, and it wasn't giving her fulfillment. So then it was a pipe dream. And pretty much we do have the email, and we screenshot it, and we still bring it up to my husband. And I remember sitting there at the tavern, glasses of rosé deep, going,
Yep.
Hey, we should open this cycle studio. And my husband being like, babe, I'm just at work at the moment, doing mining in Papua New Guinea in
Yep.
the highlands. And then after that, that was November, December. And then in March 15th, we'd opened our doors. Dad built it. Yeah. Do you know, the hardest thing was we found this place, and it was set like it was cut in two. It was at the back of, on the Busselton Highway.
Yep.
And you've got all your major shops and stuff. And we found this place. We didn't know what we were doing. No idea.
Yep.
We just wanted a dark room. Anyway, so putting it to the Shire, you've got to jump through all the hoops. They talked about how we had to build an ablution block, like a shower and toilet. Apparently it had to be done. That was an extra 25 grand on top of.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah. You know how many people use that toilet and shower? Me.
Yeah, none. Yeah. Yep.
And one had to be disabled.
Yep.
So got the whole disability thing. That kind of broke us a little bit. And then, I don't know, we just started from there. Started off as a cycle studio. People wanted more. Then we bought on grit.
Yep. Do you remember when we first met? Do you remember where it was when you first met?
Oh, it sounds like a romantic story. Tell me.
GFM seminar.
I was going to say, was it the one that we did the managers meeting?
Yeah. So there was Michelle Dean and I presented.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, and I think that was in November, December. I believe it was shortly after you had the miscarriage. I remember you telling
Yeah,
me about it. Yeah, I remember you being in there and
oh,
you're a bit,
time.
yeah. It's something that's always stayed with me, and I've always remembered that from you. But I think
Yeah,
that I'm going to be honest and say here as well. I think that it made me have a connection with you because you
yeah,
actually shared that story with me. That
yeah.
I was someone you had not known at all,
No,
but you were open and honest enough to be able to share something with me, and I took that on board and went, you know what, this is someone who I'm certain that I'm going to stay friends with for a very long time, and I'm
don't you
grateful
reckon?
that I have. And it's
Yeah,
the fact that I and I'm embarrassed about this, but I never got to actually come to your gym. Yeah. In the time that I was with Les Mills, I never got an opportunity to
you
actually
make
to come to
I
the
love it.
gym.
Oh,
We caught up so many times. We had dinner and we have had, lunches and all that kind of stuff. And I've met your entire family,
yeah,
but I've never actually stepped foot inside any of the premises you've actually been in. But I do
all
remember the
three of
first
them.
time we met at that, because that was the first ever management seminar that I did, and I was scared shitless. Yeah.
Really?
But when you sat down and you spoke to me, you made me feel at ease because I was like, wow, this is someone else who's got a whole lot of other stuff that's going on that's taken the effort to get here. Tony, pull your shit together. Just get up there and do this. You know what? It made me put things in perspective, and I don't mean that in a negative way at all when I say that
Nah.
of what you were dealing with. But it allowed me to go, I'm going to be here for you. You've just told me something that's gone massive in your life. Tony, just pull your socks up and get on with this and present as well as you possibly can and get that stuff across. So, mate, from me to
Do
you,
you
thank you as well. Yeah.
I know, I do remember that, and I just remember. I think it's just how you meet some people in your life, and it's not a business connection. Like I
Yeah.
know that we were
Yep.
for, and I there for learning and development. But you know how you meet some people, and I genuinely do
Yep.
appreciate our friendship and what you did for me working at Les Mills and telling me the honest truth and letting me get away with a little bit, like
Yep.
giving me just a little bit of rope,
Yep.
not to hang myself, but to
Yep.
try,
Yep.
and understanding me as a person and
Yeah.
not just seeing from a business point of view that has black and white rules.
Yep.
You heard my voice, and I was like, hey, and that's where I think I was so honest with you, and I haven't been honest like with anyone else
Yep.
in that role
Yeah.
since
Yep.
because they haven't given me anything. They
Yeah.
are just black and white business.
Yep.
You're so different.
I came on board when I was working for Les Mills. My big goal was, yes, the company wanted you to go out and wanted you to push new programs, and that's what a business does. Yeah, I totally understand that.
We
My
all
big
get it.
thing was that I couldn't push them to you without understanding your business
Yep.
completely. If I didn't understand what was going on in your side of your four walls and how things were being run, how could I then recommend a program to you? So, yeah, I'm the first one to stand up and say, yeah, while my time at Les Mills, yeah, things grew. It was organic growth, but it wasn't a lot of me pushing stuff because I was still getting to know the people that I was talking to and making sure that I was building decent relationships with those people
Yeah.
so that they trusted me and I trusted them to be able to go,
Yeah.
cool, you know what? Yeah, I understand what's happening here. And that's the big thing, which I think I've taken through any role that I've ever had, but pre Les Mills stuff to even now as well, is that unless I know someone's business, how can I really help them?
But also, I feel like you genuinely come across as someone that you can be honest and upfront with. And you
Yep.
know that like, there was a couple of things that I did was like, hey, do you mind if I just try this out first before I, like, or I would come to you honestly and just be like, look, what do you think about this?
Yep.
But I respected you because you personally have this honesty, this people first, like you don't work for the big corporation,
Yep.
and it's nice because I feel like people trust you to come forward to you and
I
you know
appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. I
yeah.
really do appreciate it. It's nice to hear someone acknowledge the skill set that I've had and I try and put out there. So thank you very much. That's good.
And do you know the one thing that I've taken, and it's funny you should say this, bring up that seminar, but the one thing that I remember that you said that day to me, and we've always abided by it, and I questioned it just the other day, like a few days ago, and I said, oh, about price, like, and what we charge for memberships, and because of like the local rec centre and stuff, and questioning, do we price match and stuff, and you always said to me, if you believe in your product, don't
Yeah,
don't
don't
undervalue.
discount. No, not at all.
And I've
Yep.
never, ever, ever, even though times have gotten tough, and I've wanted to, even just recently had a conversation with someone and said, oh, do we reduce our prices to kind of be a little bit competitive?
I
And
hope
they
you
said
said
no.
no. Yeah, good. I hope you worked it out and said no. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
not at all.
that's the only
It's
time.
it's look, if I use body bike as an example where I am now, yeah, I have a lot of people always asking for discounts. Oh, can you discount this? Can you? The answer is no. Especially now during COVID, the cost of manufacturing has gone up. The cost of materials have gone up. The cost of freight to get something
Yeah,
into Australia from Europe has gone up. And not only that, we're seeing longer shipping times of things to get here. So what we knew pre-COVID doesn't exist anymore. And the fact, don't
no,
get me wrong, if I'm out there shopping, I'm a wog, yeah, I'm going to ask for cheaper for cash. That's just who I am. It's
yeah,
what happens. But when I say to people, you know what, sorry, there's no possible way that I can do that right now. Some people get annoyed, but at the same time, and I've had some people push and push. Some people I've almost said to, if you ask me a third time, the price is going to go up. Yeah. So don't ask me again because I'm not going to be able to reduce the price in what I do. And I had a chat to a mate recently that used to own a CrossFit gym as well. That I said to him, mate, did you ever offer free, 2 or 3 weeks free with your business? He's like, hell no. I'm like, why not? And he said, well, Tony, because I believe in what I do. He said, I don't need to. If people want to come and trial it, you can pay me to trial it, but I'm not going to give away what I'm doing for free. I said, it puts my head into that space of, would you walk into Coles or Woolies and say, hey,
no,
I just want to test you guys out for a week and see. So I'm going to spend $200 on all of my groceries here. And thanks very much. No, you wouldn't. So why do you think you can do it? Why do you think you can get away with it in something that is either gym membership or a product you're buying for your gym? You can't do it. You just cannot. And to me, if I see the value in what I'm doing, there's no reason that I need to discount. I don't need to discount
no.
to feel sorry for someone to go, yeah, I'm going to give you that cheaper. No, the price is the price. Yeah.
And
If
also,
there's wiggle
don't you
room
think?
on the price, then I shouldn't be advertising the price as the price.
Yeah.
You know,
So don't you think also when you reduce rates, say for a membership, and I wouldn't mind talking about this later about, how you say about people asking for discounts and stuff.
yep.
So ask me about that again later. But don't you think also that when you do reduce your rates and stuff, that you invite a different, I got to word this right, but you invite a different type of clientele, or, so
Yes.
you've given them a discount, then they'll want more from you.
Yep.
So
So,
it's,
so
yeah.
how would as put yourself in the position of a member for a second, and one of your foundation members that joined up, and they're on. Let's just as an example, I'm just going to throw a figure out there. I don't know what your membership prices are. Let's just say it's $50 a week. Yep. But then somebody else come and joined 6 months later and said, "Oh, $50 a week is too much. You know what? Oh, can you do it for 40?" And you turned around and said, "Yeah." And what would happen if the $40 a week member chatted to the $50 a week member that's been there since the beginning? All of a sudden, you're like, "Hang on a second." They start chatting to you, become mates. I'm on 50. I'm on 40. What? If you walk in and you go, guys, this is what it costs. This is what it costs to join our facility. This is what it is. Over time,
Mhm.
you can put your price up, but I would never
Yeah.
drop it low, and I would never discount in that way because you're underselling yourself. But you're also, if you believe in what you sell as a product and you have faith in what you're doing is spot on, you don't ever need
Yeah.
to drop your price, guys. This is
Yeah.
what it is. If they don't like it, they can go somewhere else. That's completely fine.
Yeah.
That's business,
Yeah.
and that's what people do. Oh, I wanted it cheaper. Cool. You can go and buy it from somewhere else. If you think you're going to get what I'm offering you, go for it. Go somewhere else for sure. Most of them won't.
And
I'll guarantee you, they'll try it. They'll ask for the discount. And the amount of people that I've had with body bike stuff ask for a discount. When I say no, they still buy anyway. They know they're getting quality. They know they're getting a great product. And it's the same with your gym. Oh, you know what,
yeah.
Jess, I can't afford $50. Can you do it for 40? Actually, no, I can't because what we offer here is at that $50 level. Oh, okay.
And
Okay,
do you know
no worries.
what?
I'll sign up.
Yeah. Well, do you know what shits me about that is that we've got the local rec centre, and their prices are cheap as chips,
Yep.
whatever. But they don't offer like the core programs that I deem valuable, like
Yep.
Les Mills Core. We have Tone. They only do pump, bike class like RPM, Body Combat. I think Balance. Anyway, they took all their good products off.
Yep.
Anyway, so then they have cheap ass rates, which are pretty much half of what we are.
Yep.
Do you know how hard it is to get, first of all, people away from a rec centre? They go, rec centre, it's got to be good. I'll go there. It has pool, sauna, spa, basketball courts,
Yep.
showers, full gym, all this kind of stuff. People don't use all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
They go there for group fitness, but hey, we're still going to offer you a pool and spa just in case you do use it for
Yep.
the no times that you will.
Yep.
So it's really hard to try and tell people what you get with us is quality. You get an instructor that cares, that knows your name. I just had a girl come from there and she says, I was sick of walking in there and no one even knew who I was, didn't even say my name in class, doesn't even know that I have a back injury. So she came to us, and you know, this chick Emma loves us. She walks in, and it's not because we go, oh, hang on, I better make an effort with her. It's because we naturally appreciate people that walk through the doors. We say hi, we acknowledge them by name, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Sorry to say, but being a boutique facility like you are, you have the ability to be able to do that. The rec center, and this isn't me, you know, condoning or poo-pooing what they're actually saying. A rec center is a very different business model in the fact that they can have, you know, I'd say even up to 1,000 members in there, and that's their model. So they're what they're making, they can drop those prices down because their break-even point doesn't need to be, you know, it's up there. They don't, $1,000, 1,000 members, they don't need to be charging, as an example, the $50 a week. They can be charging, you know, $12.50 or whatever it is. It may be their price. They can do that because they're backing by council. They've got a whole lot of other stuff that's going on there as well. When it comes to a boutique, you guys are the heart and soul of your business. What goes on there, you need to be on top of your game and making sure that, as you do, as I'm aware you do, and I know you do, you, as you said as well, you speak to everybody. You know everyone that walks in because you've got that small community that's there. There are a lot of people that prefer that over just being 17654 as they scan in. That's my number. That's my membership number. Yeah, but the price point as well, what you're charging is spot on for what you're doing. You know, you believe in your product. Once they come on board, they believe in it too. If you have a look at the brands, look like F45, look at the Orange Theory, look at Barry's Boot Camp, look at all these places that are out there, and what they're actually charging is more than the big chains and more than most of the rec centers and council facilities that are out there, because people will pay it. You know, the people that don't want to pay it, they can stay at the rec center. They can stay over there. Yeah. If they want your service, they need to understand that they pay for what they get.
Yeah. It's hard to try and sell that though. Like there's like I can say to people, right, if you come to my gym and you've got an injury, I can guarantee, and we do, every person that has an injury that comes to our club, because the numbers are less than 20 per class and we give a shit and we care about each person and their experience, and we don't want them to feel like they can't do something because they've got an injury. You can walk into one of my classes, and you know me well, and this is not a lie. I can teach a whole class of 20 people. If this person's got a shoulder injury or this person's pregnant or this, I can guarantee that I'll give them all an option to make them still feel like they can participate. You go to the rec centre and they walk in, the instructor doesn't know who they are, doesn't care who they are, just treats them as if their body is just completely normal. And people are happy to pay for that. That's what shits me.
But that's not so much, and again, this is not me protecting that club or that rec center or trying to stand up for them. That's their model. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, it is big time. You know what? You come into my class, you've signed the pre-exercise screening questionnaire at the front. If you feel like you want to come and have a chat to me to remind me of that as I'm your instructor, great. And I may give you some options, or I may not. I may just go, cool, I'm just going to throw this blanket stuff out there. And that is their model, and that's why their price point is cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you've just told me is exactly why, if I was in your area, what I personally would be looking for would be coming to train with you and your crew, your community there, because that's the level that I'm looking for, and that's the level that I want. The majority of people, though, when you think the majority of people that are out there haven't experienced that or yours yet, most, I would say, once they've experienced one thing, they think that's it. It's not until they've actually invited into or they discover the boutique that they discover the boutique experience and how different it is from the bigger chain or the council, the rec center, whatever it may be. The experience is very, very different. And that's where the price point comes in straight away.
But it's getting people to our doors. And that's the problem, my selling point. I'm not a good seller. I'm not going to blow wind up someone's ass and pretend to be something I'm not. So I'm really bad. Like, there was a Facebook post that went up last night and it says, I'm looking for someone who's a personal trainer and does nutritional weight loss or something like that. So I'm doing my study in science-based nutrition, and I'm not going to, like, I don't want to really do weight loss as such.
Yep.
Like, anyone can lose weight. I can give them the information. I'll give
Yep.
it to them for free. It's
Yep.
not magic.
Yep.
You don't need to pay just for basic weight loss
Yep.
stuff. You don't need to pay exorbitant amounts.
Yep.
I like people moving. So, like, training someone to lose weight is not my niche. And I'm not going to pretend that's my be all and end all. I want people to understand what we do is just very sensible, normal stuff. But I want people to believe in it. Like, I don't know. It's really, really hard.
Can I give you some advice and something that I would suggest on this?
Is it free?
Yeah, it's free. Yeah. Write this down. Everyone, write this down. Grab a pen. Come on, I'll give you a couple of seconds. Right? Get a pen. Come on.
Got my notepad.
Your members are your biggest selling tool you have. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
They're going to refer people to you if they're happy. No matter what, they've come to you for an experience. They're getting that experience. Hone in on those people and use use your members as your tool to gain more members on board. Now, whether it's referrals, whether you throw in a referral program and say to your members, hey, for every new member that joins up, I will discount you, or you'll get a certain, whatever it may be, free. You get something for free, or you get some time for free, or whatever it may be, an incentive program for your members that are going to want to have a chat to the friends of theirs that they haven't got at the gym currently to get them to come and trial it. Yeah. And I don't mean throw an open day where you're inviting everybody in for free, because I think that's just a waste of time and a waste of money.
No.
You may get a very, very small percentage of people coming in when you do that, but I don't believe that this day and age, that's the right way to try and attract members.
No,
your members that are currently there, if they're talking to their friends and telling them how good the experience is compared to where they already may be going, that's going to be your biggest tool to get people in the door.
And also, you can't just put it down to one day that you just open up your gym. Not everyone's available. Funny you should say this, because before we went into COVID lockdown and we were part of the business awards and stuff, and our next yearly thing that we were going to work on was a referral system, but we were actually going to say to members, if you brought in a friend or if you referred us and that person stayed on, we would give you a $20 to $50 voucher for a local business. So supporting, not like Bunnings, but like supporting a local plant shop. We had a mum's cafe across the road at the community gardens. And the Busselton Jetty was one of them. And another place, there were 4 or 5, and we said that we would bring on this referral system. You bring a member in, they sign on, we would give you a $20 voucher. Not a lot that you could buy something with the voucher and leave. It would tempt you to stay and then buy something else and then open your eyes up to something new. So we did have that in place, but then COVID happened and, that went to shit.
My advice, do it again. Do it again. Re-implement that again, so it happens. And I think that is a way that, especially for your community, is you're getting your community involved. So you're getting those places, those smaller places like the cafe and that kind of stuff involved. If they know that something like that's happening, the staff that are there may want to come on. If they're advertising in some way, more of their customers may see something and they might want to come on board as well. I think that referral from your businesses in the area as well as from your members is ideal, because one, it's everyone benefits from it. Everyone that's around benefits from it, and it's just going to help growth with everything that's going on. I think that's a great idea. Keep going, re-implement,
especially after COVID as well. Like when businesses are struggling,
stimulates business everywhere,
and small town as well. Like people, like we're the only boutique gym of our kind. Then you've got the rec centre, then you've got CrossFit, you've got a 24-hour chain, and you've got F45. I mean, we're all so different. The whole town of Busselton, Vass, Dunsborough. We've got a lady that drives from Yelling up every day.
Hey, you mentioned a second ago the second studio. Run me back to the first. Rewind. Take me right back to when you guys opened, and you said it was, I think you said it was March or April. I can't remember. No, March. March?
March.
March when you said you opened,
Yeah.
yeah. Tell me about that studio. Tell me about the thought process that went into opening that studio and what you did. How you opened it.
Okay.
How what it looked like. Explain that. Because I never got,
There
as
was
you
no
know, I never got to see it. So I want to know. I heard and I've seen some pictures of a dark room and bikes and some
yeah,
wacky lights and some, it looked amazing. But
yeah,
and you touched on it briefly before as well around it was the shed out the back of another building and whatever. But
yeah.
give me a little bit of story about that. Tell me about the first one.
Well, that was 200 square meters, and we were just going to be a bike studio because we were like, oh, there's so many people that ride bikes down in Busselton and Ironman and triathlons and stuff. And naive, stupid, like we were dumb as shit because we had no idea, like what it was like to run a gym,
Yep.
and we were just like, oh, let's just chase a dream and let's get sucked into like committing to rent for a couple of years, and who cares if it goes ape shit, let's just see what we can do.
Yep.
My god, we weren't prepared for that. But we opened up and then it was bikes only, and then that was all on the timetable, RPM.
Yep.
Monday to Saturday.
Yep.
Few bike classes. Anyway, that didn't last long. I think it got to about May, and then we were like, oh, let's put on grit strength. So we got these dodgy metal equipment in this dark room. It was a black room with UV lights, polished concrete floor, one stage. My God, I just think about how horrendous it was back then and how much we didn't have an idea, but people still turned up and they loved what we did.
Yep.
And I don't know, it was just, and
Let
because there was only,
me ask you on that. Why do you think they turned up?
because I'm fabulous.
Apart from the obvious.
And I'm funny. And look at me. I mean, like I'm a true athlete.
Yeah,
No.
but tick, tick, tick. We know all them. Why do you think that they honestly rocked up time and time again in a shed, in a place that had the polished concrete floor in the equipment that you had? Why do you think they came? Why do you think that was so successful?
Well, back then in Busselton, I mean, this is 8.5 years ago, we were lucky we got in at that time because there was only the rec centre.
Yep.
And that was it.
Yep.
Oh, and a small gym that Mum was working for that didn't do les mills and stuff. So we were one of the first gyms to get Busselton. I say gym as in, like bricks
Fitness.
and mortar, not
Yeah,
PT,
yep.
you know?
Yep.
Anyway,
Can I tell you why I think people came?
me? Because I'm fabulous?
We've already ticked those boxes. Yeah.
Go.
You believed in yourself. They believed in you. What they saw was the passion and drive that you had, and that's what kept them coming.
Oh,
They enjoyed the experience that you guys gave them. Yeah. It might not have
Oh.
been, as you said, it might not have been the most amazing place that's ever been built. Yeah.
No.
But what you were offering them was something different to what they were experiencing or had experienced before. You were offering them
Or
the
didn't have.
opportunity to trial something different. Yeah. That you
Yeah.
and your mum had that passion to go, yeah, we're going to do this. Doesn't matter where you start, as long as you start. Yeah, I don't know how many
And
times
do-
I've read that in the last couple of weeks on in being locked down here in New South Wales on Facebook. It doesn't matter how you start, as long as you start. 4 kilometers is better than 20. As long as you're
Yeah.
getting out there and doing something. And I think that's. I don't want you to lose sight of that. I think that is the roots of where you began. Are what has set the foundations, and you have grown and evolved from that point.
Yeah.
You've gone from, is it two places you've been in now, or three?
3.
So you're in your third different venue now. Yep. And I
Yep.
can guarantee you, without even seeing them and knowing just from talking to you, how different it would have been from the first one you did to where you are now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have
Oh,
learnt, you've trialed and tested stuff. You've learnt, you've sort of gone, oh, wow, that didn't work. Right. Let's move on to this. All right, that hasn't worked. And you've tweaked as you've gone. You haven't just
Yeah.
thrown your hands up in the air, after the first 4 months and gone, nah, too hard. I'm out of here. Can't do this. Yep. That's it. Thrown in the towel. You've evolved.
No.
You've kept evolving.
Sometimes you want to throw in the towel. You have a few bumps in the road.
Yep.
It's more personal and emotional stuff, and
Yep.
it's just what people do to you as well. Like,
Yep.
I've been,
I think you put yourself out there, and I think that's the thing of, and I would say even with this podcast, putting myself out there, and people are the first night after I recorded the first one, I was like, God, how many people are gonna have a go? People are gonna just turn around, oh, Tony, this is crap, this is whatever, and it's their jealousy. 100% their jealousy. If they don't agree with what you're doing, that's
Yeah.
their issue. Yep. You continue on doing what you're doing, and yeah, there are always going to be haters. there are always going to be people that are going to have a go and try and bring you down. Yep. Step
Yeah.
above it. Keep going. And as you are doing, keep going. Don't stop. But no, you'd mentioned about losing some friends from the business or losing
Oh,
some mates with that kind of stuff. Is that because you changed things with the business and you changed what you were doing, or you don't? And if you
uh,
don't want to answer that, you don't have to. You don't want to. If you don't want to go into it, you don't need to. I'm.
no, it's something I think I wanted to talk about the most
Yep.
because it's been such. This has been the biggest thing for me because Mum and I, like both of or me,
Yep.
we're quite personable people. We care. We're more about the members. Like we've had a couple of members that had some issues. There's been two of them. One went really like needed the gym,
Yep.
but her husband fell out of work, and there was another girl who had some issues going on, and she just mental. Um, that sounds horrible, but she just was down about herself, and it was just mental health and stuff. And they both couldn't afford the gym. This is at separate times, and we said, look, come for free, and then start paying when you can, because we understood how much what we offered meant to people, and this is
Yep.
the type of people Mum and I are, and people take advantage of that.
100%. I was going to say, I'm without you even going into too much more. I was going to say, I have a feeling that you're going to say that you were taken advantage of.
Not by these two people, but it's just the way that we conduct our business as well. Like we're like, oh, don't worry about paying for that water, or oh, let your kids come in for free. Or
Yep.
there was one. It was my husband's 46, so it was before his 40th birthday, and we were about to fly to Samoa, and it was like literally a day or two before. My best friend at the time and her husband, and we had a great relationship. Like even my mum and dad, that was like the six of us.
Yep.
Anyway, I'd seen on a CrossFit page that she was going there, and I was like, oh, this is strange, but she was still a member at our gym. Long story short, I need to quit your gym. We've got some money issues. And I said, oh, really? Anyway, so I called her out without being nasty. Anyway, wasn't I the worst person in the world? Your business is a scam. Your mum and you should be ashamed of yourselves, because she couldn't get out of the contract. So didn't understand the lines of business versus personal.
Yeah.
But then she was doing the dodgy and going to another gym that cost 3 times as much as I did. And I knew about it. Anyway, I think I've still got the text messages. I don't know, for some reason. But then we flew to Samoa after that. And I just remember the first couple of days, I just was that constant thought of, I've lost this friendship. I'm supposed to be celebrating my husband's 40th birthday on this incredible island in the middle of nowhere. And I've got someone who's probably bad mouthing my gym, all because they couldn't get out of a contract. And do you know what was over? $120. And I remember that to the bottom dollar.
Wow.
That was the first one. And then after that, there was another one. And this one is really, really quite harsh. And because I've seen the person just recently in the shops, and I haven't seen them, considering it's a small town.
Yeah.
But my mum had I didn't know anything about this. And my mum had gotten news with her best friend in New Zealand who witnessed our wedding. So it was my mum's best friend / sister. Anyway, she had gotten news that morning about how she had cancer. And mum didn't tell me because it was very upsetting, and she knew how I would feel and stuff like that. She kept it to herself.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this member who was like a friend, a personal friend, and Michael knew her husband, and that's how we were all friends, and we knew each other quite intimately.
Yep.
Anyway, she pushed mum's buttons. I don't even know how to word it. She pushed mum's buttons quite badly that morning about some small change, literally.
Yeah.
Anyway, so mum lost it, slammed the till, and just said, fuck off, just fuck off.
Yeah.
Anyway, no one was in the gym, no one around. It was at the very, very end. My mum was emotional and distraught. Anyway, so this friend had ripped my mum a new one, then come to me and said that I need, basically, it was unprofessional. I need to sort my shit out. I said, oh, this is what I've just learnt. I didn't even know what was going on. Anyway, then she got on Facebook, had written 2 posts about me and my mum. Anyway, after that, I just shut that down, and this shit. So dealing with that, letting people into your life too much and not having
Yep.
no one respect your
Yep.
boundaries. Um,
It's hard, and I'm going
oh,
to say it's hard in the way that as a business owner, as a small business owner, there are a lot of lines that get blurred in a big way.
people
Yeah.
don't respect you. Eh?
No,
People don't.
it's people don't and I'm going to say it's nothing personal against you for your business. It is the way that certain people are with certain things. Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't value enough what they're actually doing. Yeah. Do you think that that conversation would have been had at a different center? I'll guarantee you wouldn't say no. Yep.
this is what we say, and
Yep.
we always say like people do some dodgy stuff, or like I don't know, we just let quite
Yep.
a lot of things slide, and then we're like, oh, would this happen at GLC? Would this happen at the rec centre?
Yep.
Or this happen somewhere else? And we're like, no, but it's because Mum and I are so personable with
Yep.
people because we
Yep.
are a member
Yep.
before we are
Yep.
gym owners, and
Yep.
that's the way we see ourselves.
And
But do you know?
unfortunately, that'll never ever change, though. Yeah, and I don't mean to be the poo-pooer here, but that won't change because those people, there are always going to be those, and I'm going to say it's a
Yeah,
minority of
yeah,
people
very
that
much
are the ones that would have a go because it's not what they want. Yeah,
so. No,
their expectations have not been met because their own expectations. Nothing that you've set for them, but they have let themselves down with their expectations because their expectations were set higher or lower or whatever it may be. They set them.
yeah,
Not something you did, something they did in that regards.
yeah,
So I see it as not a reflection on you, more so a reflection on them and the way that they've dealt or handled that situation. You guys are
yeah,
running a business and you're running it both, and you're not chopping and changing your rules all the time to suit whoever and willy nilly. This is what we've put in place. You said especially about the membership, the contract that you set up. If you had turned around for that member and reduced that contract or cancelled that contract, and that got out, and other people were like, well, then all of a sudden, what you've done is you've just devalued your brand and your product because you haven't believed in your own product.
yeah.
Why would you wouldn't do that? You wouldn't turn around and cancel your membership for that person. Yeah, if there was a situation, and I'll say this, you do it on a case by case situation where if for whatever reason that entire family, God forbid, someone's house burnt down, they were out of work or whatever it may be, and they needed to get out of the contract, then you know what? Yeah, I would turn around too, and I would go, you know what? Yeah,
100%.
not an issue. But if you know that someone's gone somewhere else and they're paying more, but they just want to try and get out of yours, why can't they just be honest? And that's all I ask from
Yeah,
people is just have the honesty or the decency to turn around
yeah,
and have an open conversation and say, hey,
yeah,
this isn't fitting me anymore. I want to go and do
yeah,
something else. Yeah.
yeah,
If they had probably approached it to you in that way, you may have turned around and gone, you know what, cool, righto, go for it. Yeah, we'll cancel your membership. Go, get out of here, do it, whatever.
yeah,
But it's the way people approach it, and
yeah.
there's a as we were saying before as well, there's ways and ways of saying stuff to get someone to actually do something for you, or to get a response from someone that is what's more um not achievable, but is what's more agreeable within parties on how things are actually
I
discussed or
wish
how
people
you
would.
get to something. Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
yeah.
One thing I want to throw something at you and just get you to think about this for a sec. The most successful people in business, do you think that they knew what they knew right from the word go?
Hell no.
Mm. So all I'll say to you is that you know what your journey to get where you are is probably the same as everyone else's, but it's a different story. But the
Yeah,
same sort of learning skills you've learned along the way is probably some of
yeah,
the most successful people out there have gone through the same stuff, whether they'll admit it or not, whether they even air it and so that. But they might just go, oh, yes, I've known for the past 10 years that this is exactly how it's been and will be, whatever. Be
nah,
real, be honest, as we're saying, and share that experience and share that story. I think it's great
yeah,
that you have the balls to do it, but you got the confidence to stand up and share
yeah,
your story with people to
yeah,
go, you know what, this is what we went through.
yeah.
This is what I experienced. This is the stuff that
No
I've had
bullshit.
to deal with recently. And I say that because it's part of the podcast and part of me wanting to do this, as we said before, was me getting these stories out there to people to go, hey, if you're dealing with some of this stuff that's going on, here's some people
Yeah,
that have dealt with it. This is the situation. There might be the right way, there might be the wrong way. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just sharing that story with people to say, hey, this is what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers. I don't claim to have all the answers. I'm not the coach that's got all the answers out there that goes, "Yep, hang on a second, I'll just turn to page 237 and here's the answer." No, it is, life experiences that we can share with each other along the way. And I think you've nailed it with your story and what you've told us, shared with us so far, is that you've experienced so many challenges
Yeah.
opening up a small boutique in a community space
That
that
no one knew
as
about.
no, but as you said back when you were 26 and you started it, you had a dream, you had a vision, you had your I want to have this. Yeah. You might not have actually had your mission set out in front of you properly, but you knew what your vision was. You knew what you wanted to achieve. You knew your goal that you'd actually set there. But you
Yeah.
might not have actually sat down and gone, right, this is the path we're going to take to do it. Yeah, and
No shit.
that's completely fine. That's completely fine because the majority of people I chat to don't have their vision, mission, values, goals, all that kind of stuff set up. It is, I've got a vision. This is what I want to do. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's do this along the way. And you learn and you evolve along the way, as we've said, and you turn that business into something. Because today, as we mentioned before, today your business is not what you set out to do 9 years ago.
No.
It's completely
Well,
different.
we,
You started out with your cycle studio.
yeah.
Yep. You evolved that into you did some grit. Right now, let me ask you the question. How many cycle classes are you doing a week?
Oh, we're doing a few. And then, but the thing is, like, we've gone from having that 200 square meter space, and then we realized that we needed something more, and we wanted to do more group fitness. We started taking on CX Works when it was
Yep.
CX Works,
Yep.
but then it was floor based, and we were like, oh my God, we really need a group fitness room, but also a cycle studio. So then we bailed out of that first place, and then we literally moved next door
Yep.
into it was a couple of 100 meters squared as well, but we made the cycle studio small, just down the side of the building.
Yep.
Made a group fitness room. We had a creche, everything, in a small reception area. But then we realized group fitness, we were getting more and more people in for stuff because we were still the first people besides the rec centre to have something to offer. And people were like, hey, what's going on here? Like,
Yep.
this is kind
Yeah.
of cool. Also keeping the numbers small, being that kind of, like people would walk in, you'd say that, hi, such and such, you know their name.
Yep.
Like everyone, like the boutique feeling, but also giving a shit, and we gave a shit.
Yep.
And then it got to the point where the building was being sold, the second building we were in. So we put in a bid to buy it against someone else. And our finance went through fine. Their finance got rejected, but then something happened, and I can't remember what it was. But then somehow our finance, or in the end, we bailed on it, so we didn't buy it.
Yep.
And it was a snap lock decision to buy it because that's all we had at the time, and we wanted to stay on it.
Yep. Yep.
Anyway, so that got taken away from us. And I remember my mum, with her friend being sick, she flew over, and I think it was about November. Yeah, it was November. So mum had taken a trip to New Zealand to go visit her friend, and pretty much the second studio we had to be taken down, and we had to find somewhere else to go. So I remember mum being in New Zealand for a couple of weeks, Michael was home at the time, and we were just like, where do we go? Like, how do we keep the shed alive? And it was the thing, like, we could have easily closed, Tony. I would have like packed up my fucking shit,
Yep.
walked away, paid off my debt. Cool, no worries. But
Yep.
do you know who we did it for? And I said to Michael, I was like, I can't let these people down. And that's without a word of a lie.
Yep.
I said, people have nowhere to go. The people that love the shed and us, the core people, what would they do?
Yeah.
And Michael's like, you can't think about other people. You've got to think about yourself. And I was like, yeah, but that's my identity as well.
Yep.
Anyway, then we were driving around the light industrial area one day, and we just happened to drive down the main street, and Michael seen this sign, and it was like a rent sign. Anyway, it's the street we don't really go down. And he goes, oh, have a look at this. So we stopped, and it was this L-shaped building, and it was in the bottom half of the building, and there were 3 units, and the back one was 400 square meters. Anyway, we inquired with real estate. Long story short, we managed to get the place, and we got it up and running by January 23rd, I think.
Yep.
So Dad did another build again. That was like working to the day we opened. We opened at like 8 a.m. and we worked until 5 a.m. that morning to try and get everything up. That's how cutthroat it was. Anyway, and that's the shed we have now, and it's 400 or 396 square meters. It's got a cycle house. 200 meters of that is pure group fitness room. There's a functional area that's quite large, creche, reception. This is where we are now. Like, it's 2.5 years later. And I will tell you, like, I considered, like, our rent is due at the end of the year. Like, we're on a 3 by 3 year lease.
Yep.
And I'm questioning what my decision is at the end of this time.
Yep.
Like, am I tired? Like, you front up every day. Like, people have expectations of you, and it's not a franchise.
Yep.
It's you.
It's
they
you.
want to see you.
Yeah.
And
yep.
I'm fucking tired. Like, I'm emotional and I'm tired, and I'm like, I've never told anyone this except my best friend. And I'm happy for you to put this in the podcast because it has been quite a massive thing. But in December last year, I don't think I was suicidal, but I was very fucking close, to be honest. There was a lot of pressure. Like, I feel like I'm doing this on my own because Mum's got the cafe across the road and she's there now. I have the gym. This thing happened with this friendship in September, October. I was questioning how much effort I could put into that place. And it's not just physical. Like, I'm teaching all the classes.
Yep.
I'd had an instructor tell me that she didn't want to teach anymore. And I have my best friend who's another instructor there. He has some serious mental health issues. And he was like, look, I want to support you, but I mentally can't be there in front of people.
Yep.
And I felt like everyone bailed on me. And I was like, I'm stuck in this for another year. I wake up every single fucking Monday and it's Groundhog Day. I have debt with tax off it, like a tax debt.
Yep.
It's a few $1,000s compared to what most businesses, it's a drop in the ocean.
Yep.
But it's just that, like, what am I doing? And I don't know, I was in such a dark place. And I just remembered it wasn't suicidal, but it was just, and I remember ringing my best friend, and I remember sitting in my bedroom, and I just remember saying to her, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, what's my life? Like, I turn up every day. Do people appreciate me? Like, I don't know. Like, you just think about that shit. Like, the bills keep coming. I'm working just as hard. It's post-COVID. Like, we lost so many members off COVID, but my bills came back. Les Mills, like, oh, we'll give you a bit of time off your billing. But then that started to go back up to normal. And next thing you know it, I'm paying fucking, I don't know, like, but it just became a thing. And I just thought, what would happen if I wasn't here?
Yep.
And that's just how far deep down in the hole I got I was exhausted. I was fucked. Do you know how hard I worked over COVID to keep? I think that's what broke me. And I know we're going to talk about COVID, but we rented all of our equipment literally the moment that we closed. I think by the end of the week.
Perfect.
We gave all our Les Mills equipment out.
Yep.
That if people want to rent our equipment, they've got to keep paying a membership.
Yep.
I fronted up like I worked every single day all through COVID. Do you know how hard it is to motivate 70 people via online?
It's not easy. It's not easy. You get nothing back because you're teaching to a computer. You're teaching to a camera. You don't have that interaction with people. There's little screens. If you did it by Zoom, there's little screens down the bottom. It is a challenge. Yeah, there are It is not easy to teach to no one. It is probably one of the hardest things I think as an instructor we can do. It's a skill set that is if you can master it, you know what? You're going to be really successful in doing it. Yeah.
I faked the shit out of it. I got applauded. I got put on ABC radio for one of our members had plugged us and said what Jess has done, and my mum, I said, well, Mum couldn't do anything because she does the bikes.
Yep.
But I was the one doing late night. I remember someone asking me if I was drunk when I put a video up, but I remember I was committed to this 7-day challenge.
Yep.
And it was 9 o'clock at night. I was so tired. People didn't know how I felt. Like, I faked the shit out of COVID.
Yep.
And I just remember doing this workout, and I filmed it and I put it up and I said, here you go, guys. Sorry it's late. Here's your challenge for the next day. But I was committed to that challenge. And someone says, oh, are you drunk? And I was like, oh, fuck no. I am tired and not. Like, it just drew out of me. And I just remember, like, putting in so much effort. And it got to the end of the year.
I'm proud of you for not giving up. I'm proud of you for still being here now. Yeah. I know that, and it sounds, and from what I can pick up is it sounds like it was the shittest of shit places you've ever experienced. Yep.
I
But
remember
looking
the
at you
first one,
now and hearing your story from where you've come from and what you went through, you are a massively tough individual that
that
you,
fucking
you
broke me though.
yeah, but you if you were going to give up on yourself, you would have already done it, Jess. You would you're not the type of person to walk away from a challenge.
No.
You're not that type of person. You dealt with it, and I'm going to say that they were probably some of the deepest, darkest demons that you've ever had to fight. Yeah,
Oh, 100%.
yeah,
Like I've been through 3 miscarriages, Tony,
yeah,
and the first one was hard, the second one was shit, and the third one you're like, "Oh, I'm a failure." And I think, just going through COVID, and then, I will give our landlord, like the guy that owns our building, incredible specimen. That man reduced our rent to a couple of $100 through COVID just to pay his bills.
yeah,
Do you know we're still paying a reduced rent now because I have not survived COVID as
yeah,
well as what we should
yeah,
have.
yeah,
Got out of COVID and I was so exhausted. And I just remember being like, and then speaking to the accountant because I had a meeting with our accountant. And I just remember her saying, close your business, give it
yeah,
up. She says, get you out of it by March. Oh my God, I've never told, my mum doesn't even know this.
yeah.
Anyway, and she
We can
said,
edit that out if you need to.
no, but like if this helps someone else
Yeah,
understand, like if someone else has gone through this, because this is why I wanted to do this, because what people have seen from me, I can turn up and just be like, yeah, things are great.
yeah.
But like
The challenges that COVID has brought upon us, some businesses have thrived, and I'm going to say most businesses have suffered, have struggled
yeah,
to keep it. The amount of businesses that I'm seeing that are up for sale,
yeah,
gyms that are up for sale, the franchises that are up for sale, yeah, it's amazing because people
yeah,
struggled, or and even the price of some of these. A
yeah,
chain that has a franchise somewhere that has 400 or 500 square meters for less than $100,000 to purchase. It's like, whoa, what? Your equipment's worth more than that. They just wanting to get
yeah,
out because they've gone, you know what? No, I can't do this. The challenge is real. This virus has disease virus, whatever it's called, has really screwed a lot of businesses up. Yeah, the fact
yeah.
that you went through it, you are here now. I praise you for hanging around and actually going, you know what? Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
giving up on this. I'm doing this. Yeah, you have learnt a hell of a lot from it. The struggle's still there. The challenges are always
yeah,
still going to be there, but it's how you choose to overcome them and what you choose to do next. Yeah, as you say, your thought process now. By the end of the year, when it comes to time to reevaluate your lease, you may look at changing things you're doing. You may look at closing. You may look at staying. Who knows what that's going to evolve?
do you
I
know what
think.
though, the only reason I won't close, and honest to God, you ask my husband and you ask my best friend, because they're the only two I confide in, and I have an opportunity to close, and the only reason I'll stay open is because what would people do? Where would people go?
Yep,
Because anyone understands the community of people that we have. We're not a cliquey group either. We
yep,
don't do catch ups after class. Like we're not this type of, like community where we go, oh, let's have a beach day and let's have this day. No, we just turn up, we do our shit at the gym and we go home.
yep,
But there's just this one thing in me that's just like, what would these people do? What would I do? What's my identity if I
yep,
don't do this?
yep,
But I'm fucking tired. I'm exhausted, man.
yep.
Like,
Well, it sounds to me that you have got a community that's there. Yeah, you've got a community of
yeah,
people that are there, and they are there for one another. They are there for you. Yeah, I'm going to say, and I'm going to throw this to you: engage that community sense more.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and when I say that, I mean get that community of people to be there for your support as much as you're there for them.
Yeah,
Yeah. There are people there that I'll guarantee you that will jump out of their comfort zone. And, if you, as an example, if you needed the building painted and you turned around and you said, right, we're going to do a working bee, I'll guarantee
yeah,
you almost every single one of your members would rock up and give you a hand.
yeah,
They would
yeah,
do it because it's their place. Yeah.
yeah,
Not because they feel like, oh shit, Jess, oh God, we need to do this. They do it because they want to do it. Yeah.
yeah,
If you turned around and you said to them, guys, we're going to do a working bee, I'm going to chuck on sausage sizzle, we're going to have a couple of cans when we're done, I'll guarantee you that you'll get a good chunk of your membership rocking up. because they're there for you as much as they're
Yeah.
there for themselves. Yep. And I'm going to suggest that you look at that in a different way than what you may have looked at it at the end of last year when you're in the pit. Yep.
Yeah.
Look at that in a different way and go, right, I got myself through that. Between now and the end of the year, I'm going to rely on my members to turn this around, and we're going to get
Yeah.
more member engagement and get
Yeah.
those members to bring you more members as well, but get the
Yeah.
members to feel that it's not just where they rock up and they're like, oh, right, well, right, Jess, do this because this is what you got to do. No, 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 no. Wait, stop.
Yeah.
No, no. You rock up because, yeah, this is what I do, but why are you
Yeah.
really here?
Yeah.
Why are you in my gym? Why are you in
Yeah.
this center that I've created? Are you part
Yeah.
of what's going on here? Do you fit? Do you really fit in what the shed stands for? What are the
Yeah.
values of the gym?
And it's funny you should say it because we do, like, I'm quite nosy. Whenever I meet someone new, I'm so nosy and I ask so many questions, probably to the point, and I've said it a few times. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm asking so many questions. I want to know what is going to motivate you to be here and what's not.
Yep.
So it's getting like when I first meet someone, I'm like, okay, so what's your motivation and stuff? And I had a guy rock up the other day and he left a major chain because he was rocking up to their 5 a.m. classes and there were 40 people in like 150 square meters of training space.
Yep.
Basic circuit stuff, all that kind of stuff. Come to us. His first class, 5:30 on Thursday, 7 people. Loved it.
Yep.
He was like, this I love.
Yep.
And, I got to know him and I got to chat and you find out he loves cardio. So I know that when he comes to my class next, right, I'm going to chuck in an extra cardio track.
Yep.
Or, like it's just getting to know people and what is going to keep them at the gym because you want to be able to give them a personalized experience every time.
Yep.
Do you know what that comes with though? It becomes with emotional exhaustion.
Yeah.
Exhaustion.
Yep. Yep.
Like getting to thinking about stuff all the time and people and what makes them tick and giving them that experience for the hour that they're at the club. It all comes with being a boutique gym owner.
Yep.
Like you give a shit. You're there because you do care.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'd own a franchise or I'd own a big chain gym if I didn't.
That you can just follow the rules that they set in place, but that's not you. I don't see you ever being able to do that because you're a people person. You're a person that is actually you make a difference in the way that you do things to people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
And people gel with that as well.
Yeah. But we've always with our brand and stuff, and going back to the supplements and stuff, we can't sell stuff. Like our brand is that we want people to feel good when they get out of bed in the morning. I don't give a fuck what you deadlift.
Yep.
I don't care what you can bench press.
Yep.
I don't care if you can hold a hover for 4 minutes or 5 hours.
Yep.
I want you to be able to get out of bed in the morning and feel good. Yep. I want you to be able to walk down the street and feel confident in yourself. I also don't want you to have an eating disorder where carbs are bad and you're not allowed to drink alcohol or, you can't have cake and stuff.
Yep.
Scrub that shit. We are a club that promotes just a happy, healthy life. And it's really hard for people to grasp because that's not what the fitness industry tells people. The fitness industry says you've got to diet and you have to work out 5 days a week for an hour. Nah,
I'm going to ask you that. Is that the fitness industry or the social media industry? So I think there's a big difference between the fitness industry and the online social media perception of the fitness industry. Yep. The so-called, some people call themselves disruptors, some people call themselves influencers. The social media side of things where you see plastered everywhere. Oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. There's all money behind it. There's a whole lot of self-promoting duck pouts. 300 photos taken before one gets posted on social media type stuff that we don't see. And I think a lot of people think that the industry is what is plastered on social media when it in fact is not. Yep. There is some of the, my wife is teaching Cert 3 and Cert 4 at the moment. And a lot of the people that are coming through into Cert 3 and Cert 4 have this perception on what the fitness industry is. And it is not what I know the fitness industry to be of when I started back in 2003. Yeah. It is completely different. The perception they have on the fitness industry is so distorted from what the real fitness industry is. And I think though
Yes.
that's not so much the fault of people in the industry. Yeah. However, social media has played a big part of that. But I think it's the fitness industry. There is a shake-up required in the fitness industry to stay more and more relevant. Yeah. We can't follow what's happening in the States all the time. We can't follow what's happening everywhere else because it's different to what happens here in Australia. The fitness industry
Yeah.
in Australia is quite different to the fitness industry in the States or in other
Yeah.
countries for that matter.
Yeah.
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 What happens here differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. The looking at what used to be the Cert 3 and Cert 4. I heard a couple of weeks back, a month or so ago now, what it was that there is a Cert 3 program that is out there at the moment that are actually turning around and saying, if you think something different needs to happen in this Cert 3, then write in and let us know. I look
Yeah.
at that and I think, wow, okay. They're listening to the industry. They're starting to reach out and sort of go, okay, what is relevant?
Wow.
You know, what was done 20 years ago, is it still relevant to what we're doing today? And I think it's
Yeah.
great that they're opening that up. But who are they listening to? Who are they grabbing that information from? Are they grabbing that information from people that have been in the industry for a long time? Or are they grabbing that information from people that have been here for 2 seconds and that have a twisted perception on what the industry actually is? I don't know.
And my personal experience with that, like I'm a size 14 person.
Yep.
So I always had this thing when I lived in Broome, and like it was a culture of bikinis, and I used to go to the nudie beach every day and do my 2 hours of cardio in the morning, work, and then the beach in the afternoon, get a nice tan, and
Yep.
party hard on the weekend, wouldn't eat for days, like that kind of really shitty culture.
Yep.
I was skinny. I was so skinny. I had a banging bod. I was also 19, 20.
Yep.
So unhealthy. I look back at it now and I'm 10 kilos or 15 probably now. Heavier. I lift weights. I am a size 14. People come in and they look at you. They're like, oh, you're a personal trainer. I'm like, yeah, I also drink wine on the weekends. I
Yep.
eat cake.
Yep.
I eat carbohydrates for breakfast. Don't take any supplements, only creatine.
Yep.
And people, like, the industry's changed from when I knew it when I was 19. So that's like 17 years ago. And how we used to do hours of cardio, take fat burners, pre-workouts, all this kind of shit, be skinny. And you weren't accepted in the fitness industry as a group fitness instructor or a PT unless you were skinny.
Yep.
And that's what I started with. But now I'm size 14, got love handles, I got thick thighs and an ass.
Yep.
And I can lift weights like an absolute maniac. My best mate, who is our instructor, Al, he tells everyone I'm freakishly strong for a woman because I can just...
Thanks, Al.
I accept it. But
Yep.
like it took a really long time for me to accept people coming into the gym and being like, oh my God, you have a hot body and stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not a size 10.
Yep.
It fucks with your head so badly. And then it carries on into my personal life with my husband.
Yep.
This is not something really I've ever talked about either. And I think I've only ever told my husband this, and I think it was only last year, and just saying, oh yeah, it was when we were in Karajini and we were coming home and something happened and we had the biggest argument. And I said, I already don't feel feminine. I'm in a male-dominated industry. I wear gym clothes every day. I don't wear dresses. I don't wear makeup. I don't wear high heels. Somehow you love me, but I don't feel like a woman. I have this thing because we are the same height and we weigh the same. And I don't, in my mind, it fucks so badly with my feminine side that I should not weigh the same as my husband. I shouldn't be bigger than my husband. I should wear dresses. I should wear makeup. It really plays a part in your personal relationship. I don't feel loving. I don't feel like a sexy woman. I don't feel like I'm a role model to people. It really destroys you as a person. I think that adds to your whole, it just adds to the pressure of this.
Yeah.
Social media has a lot to play with that.
Yeah. Completely. I'm 100% sure on this that your husband doesn't think what you think about you.
No, he told me that.
I've met the guy. I've met the guy a couple of times, and I can lay that down for sure and go, Jess, no, that guy loves you so much, it's not funny.
Yeah.
But you're right. That social media has a lot to play. has a big part to
Yeah.
play in what's going on. With it's not even that, with COVID as well, with
Yeah. Yeah.
everything that's going on. You look at social media at the moment, and I'm sick of looking at it because it's so depressing. And
Yeah.
because of the industry I've been in, and because of this industry for so long, I've followed a lot of clubs on social media, and I have a lot of friends on social media that are in the industry. And every time COVID hits and we go into restrictions, there's a lot of, as you experienced last year, going down into that pit and feeling like crap.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on here in New South Wales at the moment. We're in our end of our
Yeah.
second week of I think it's the second week. I've lost track of it already, and we're going to be in this for a lot longer as well. But there's a lot of people feeling, oh crap, the entire industry has turned to crap right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It
was saying to a
has.
mate the other day, it's almost as though if I was an accountant or if I was in a different industry, I wouldn't be seeing it or feeling it as much as what I'm feeling it or seeing it, because what I would follow on social media would be different. You know what? All it would be is that, yeah, there, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that there wouldn't be industries like that would be having their struggles. They would, 100%. But being able to adapt and still work from home, yeah, you can still
Yeah.
get on with
Yeah.
doing things in that way. The fitness industry, we really can't just get on with it from home. Yeah, there's only so much, as you said, the struggle was real teaching to Zoom or Facebook Live, that kind
Right.
of stuff. It changes everything that we do. We drop an income straight away. That stuff is real. And I think even more so for boutiques, feel it more than the larger chains or the larger organizations, because you're a mum or dad, or as you are self owners in that regards, that are, everything you do is on the line with that business. There aren't
Yeah.
investors. There aren't that kind of stuff. Your members
No.
can turn around at the drop of a hat and go, "I need to cancel." You know what? What? Yep, you can put them on suspension, whatever it may be. And certain people may lose everything due to COVID. They may, both of them may get out of work and not be able to work. But our household, I'm so forever grateful that Body Bike, where I work, we're able to continue with business. It was predominantly online stuff, and it's click and collect, or we can get stuff delivered out to people once we keep doing what we're doing. The thing that we
Yeah.
find is that we're not selling as much to gyms during the lockdown period, obviously, because they're not thinking of that kind of stuff. We're able to keep going. Right, teaching classes, not able to do as much. Yeah, not able to
Yeah.
do. She's also with the other study and stuff that she's in the process of doing. She's been able to get some casual work in that regard, so it has helped us financially in that regards. But if both Rach and I were still, go back 10 years ago, back in the fitness industry, PTs and group fitness managers and working right now, there'd be no money coming into this household.
No.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah, and that is 100% struggle town for so many people out there at the moment. Every
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
every time restrictions happen, they shut. There's a lot of stuff I'm seeing on social media at the moment about um, people trying to set up some sort of, not funding, but a governing body in the fitness industry to be able to go to the government and say, hang on a second, it is about mental health. We're helping mental health in the industry by staying and
Right.
keeping the gyms open. And I agree with it to a certain degree. Yep.
Yeah.
And I want to support the industry in that regards. However, it's still, to me, not having a governing body in the fitness industry is our biggest challenge. Yeah. We need to have someone that is there that actually stands up and is a presence for us as an industry. Yeah.
Why is
They,
no one
they,
there?
there's,
Because
there's, there's 4 or 5 of them that I know of out there at the moment, but it's not a unified body.
yeah. Right.
They're individual organizations. Yeah. There still isn't one body, one governing body that looks after the fitness industry as a whole. If there is, people tell me I'm wrong. I want to hear. I want to
Yeah.
hear them. Come and tell me.
Yeah.
But from what I know right now, there aren't. Yeah, there's no one to help out, and that I think is where our industry as a whole has a big problem. What happens when we
It's
shut down? We shut down. How much money is lost in the industry? How many of these owners, operators, suffer because of it? Yeah, you get people
it's
turn
not.
around and say, "Oh, the pubs are opening straight away." Oh, that's bullshit. The pubs are opening. The pubs are opening and clubs are opening in that regard because they have to pay fees and taxes on everything they're doing. We pay a tax, yeah, we go like all businesses do, but there's not a certain tax that is on alcohol. There's not a certain tax that's on pokies that we're going to pay to the government. So why do you think we're the last ones to reopen?
Do you know, it's funny you should say this because I was having this conversation with a guy today. He was a member in our gym, and we were talking about, like with COVID and why gyms don't, like we were giving a little bit of info. And I said, oh, the reason why the government doesn't support gyms is because we don't pay them any tax, don't pay any royalties, don't pay them any fees. Like we literally pay licensing to Les Mills, licensing to music, and then we pay rent to our and insurance. I said, but the government can't take any money off us, so that's why they don't give a fuck about us. But my husband, on the other hand, is safe in his job. Everyone was like, oh, mining. And I was like, no, mining's fine, because where do you reckon the government gets their kicks from? WA mining. So my husband was just like, luckily, because I don't earn fuck all. Like I pretty much do not earn any money. The business doesn't draw a wage like a normal wage. So it's my husband. He's a breadwinner. I sit back and I just earn my little bit of money from PT. And life's grand. But as far as it goes, the government doesn't give a shit about us. And I honestly don't understand. Did you see that study that came out yesterday or the day before? And it's just been shared around about mental health. I'll try and find it on my phone quickly because someone shared it on Instagram. And it was about gyms and mental health. And the study came out saying that, I've put it on airplane mode, saying that mental health was much better with physical, like a gym. I'll have to find the study for you. And it just came out the last couple of days. And the government don't listen to that. Yet they'll still keep liquor stores open, which contribute to depression, violence, antisocial behaviour. Taxes.
It's all what it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. But at the same time, that is there. But how many clubs would turn around if the government said, "Oh, you've got to start paying tax"? How many clubs would be up in arms about that as well? Everybody, 100%. Everybody. Why am I paying you more? Hang on a second. It's one or the other. You want us to open? Yeah. If you're paying the government a tax, they're going to open you up faster than if you're not paying a tax. Yeah. They still see that. You know, I had an argument with some individual. I won't say where from or on what platform. However, tried to tell me that a pub was cleaner than a gym. And I said, but mate, what would you know? He said to me, what would you know? The government is saying this. So what makes you a know-it-all compared to what they're saying? And I said, okay. I said, this was a gym owner, mind you, that was telling me that the pub was cleaner than his gym. He couldn't guarantee that every single member was going to be wiping down that equipment before and after they used it. But the government have told him that the pub was going to be a cleaner place because they have people walking around everywhere cleaning everything. And I just laughed and I was like, mate, I'm actually going to stop this conversation with you. I said to him, mate, I hope I meet you one day in person. I would really love to meet you. I can't wait till the day we can meet in person. Yeah. For no other reason, I want to see this individual and have a conversation because I was just, I was lost for words that a pub could be cleaner than a gym. Especially now when you cannot walk into a gym without your mask going through reception, but you need to clean that piece of equipment before you use it. Then you clean it as soon as you've walked away from it. So the equipment is being cleaned twice as much as what it was before anyway. But no, the pub is cleaner than the gym.
Wow. Honestly, he's obviously never been to a pub. Do you know what? I reckon I get.
How dirty is his gym?
I swear I'm at risk of getting an STD just by using the fucking toilet pub. I'm not at risk of getting an STD in my gym.
My point was, if you, I was thinking in my head, okay, I've walked up to the bar, I've grabbed my beer, I've gone back and I've sat down. Then I'm going to get up. I'm going to go back and I'm going to get another beer. Did someone quickly run over and wipe my seat as soon as I got up and left? Did someone go there and wipe the bench before I sat down? They may have done 25 minutes ago, but who's been there since? I don't know. But the piece of gym equipment has been cleaned before I've got on it because I've cleaned it myself. Then I've cleaned it as I've left. And the next person that comes along has also cleaned it. And then they've cleaned it as they've left. But no, the pub is cleaner than a gym.
So I can't believe that shit. I can't believe people actually think that just because the Australian government said that.
Yep. That baffled me. That one really did. It was like, wow, okay. Yep.
I can't hear that, honestly. It honestly baffles me. Like, here I am, like, having to worry about my second and third quarter BAS this year with my accountant last year before I had my meltdown, telling me that I was going to owe the Australian government a shitload of money, but I should talk to my landlord to get out of my lease and blah, blah, blah. I can't believe I was having suicidal thoughts over paying taxes. I mean, like, where oh, but hey, you can go get a bottle of wine on your way home and drown your sorrows.
Yep.
Just get that to it.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
Honestly, I honestly don't get it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
The challenges right now are for everyone in the fitness industry is it's here. They're it's not going to change in a hurry. The virus isn't going to disappear in a hurry.
Nah.
Other countries we're starting to see open up, and I don't know how the fitness industry is going in other countries. And to be honest, I'm not really, I don't really care either. And
No.
I know that that may sound naive from our industry, but what I care about is what happens here on Australian soil and how we adapt and we do things here. You know,
Yeah.
people are saying that, oh, America's done this and all that kind of stuff. Okay, they've had a ton load more
So,
people over there. They were the virus was rampant and was going through the place like there's no tomorrow. Some of them have only just started opening up now, and
yeah.
the virus had hit there before it hit here. We've been lucky in that regards that you know our leaders in this country are closing us down when there's only small cases and we're doing things, but we're struggling with that. Why are we looking at what's happening overseas? We should be the ones here that are leading the way of what's actually happening because we've had the virus under control in most situations a lot better than other countries
Yeah.
have. So
Yeah.
looking at that, why aren't we looking at the studies done here? Why aren't we looking at how things are done here and sharing that with the rest of the world instead of us sitting back and going, oh no, well, they're the ones that have done this and they're doing that. We need to follow suit. No,
Nah.
it
Do you
doesn't
know?
need to be that way.
No. And do you know what I struggle with as well is that the a gym membership through COVID, when things go bad, and even before COVID, but more so now, when things are really tight, we're the first thing to go.
Yep.
So people would rather buy a bottle or two of wine a week instead of, so my gym membership costs 2 bottles of wine. So people would rather ditch a gym membership, which is so much better for you, not just physically,
Yep.
but mentally, socially, emotionally,
Yep.
and almost a little bit spiritually as well. People would rather forego that. That'll be the first thing that goes, but they won't give up the alcohol, or they
Yep.
won't give up the smoke, or they won't give up the junk food, or they won't give up the takeaway.
Yep.
But heaven forbid, I'm going to give up a gym membership.
Yep.
I can't. This is a conversation Mum and I were having, I think just yesterday, because I worked with her at the cafe, and we were just saying, like, because we had a couple of members give up, and it's just excuses and excuses. And I'm like, why would you give up a gym membership that brings so much value? But people don't see that.
No.
It's really hard to fathom.
It's always the first thing to go. When times get tough, the gym membership is always the first to go. Always.
And that would be one thing that I would find money for.
Yep.
And I mean, if you're going to a chain that's, the one down the road, the circuit chain, and you're paying $55 a week for, but you can come to mine for 20.
Yep.
I mean, and time's tough. You know what? Just give the other one a flick and just go for a third of the price. Give that a shot for a bit until money's good.
Yep.
But I don't understand why people give up that.
It won't change this. I would love to know the answer to that. And I would love to be able to say, this is why. I think that's the $1 million question. People don't put enough value on their health, but I think that also comes down to the government. I think that comes down to the advertising that we're seeing out there. It also comes down to social media. It comes down to a whole lot of things. If you're in the industry, you're passionate about what we do. And it's one of those things that, no, I need that. I need to be able to get out there because the endorphins go on. I need that feeling. I can give up the alcohol for a week or two. I can give up, doing that as long as I've got my gym still going. And that's majority of the gym owners. That's their passion. That's their drive. And that's what we're trying to say to the government. Hey, give us a break here. Let us open. Let us stay open. We need to be doing this, not only for ourselves and our businesses, but for the hundreds upon hundreds of people that are coming to our centres, that we know that it is mental health and it's mental wellness that we've got to try and help and look after here. That's
and with Les Mills and stuff, I still have the Les Mills On Demand app.
Yep.
And I still use it at home. I do the body balance, and I still I've got some equipment here.
Yep.
And I did body pump one day. That app is brilliant. And it costs my business. I charge it to the business, and it's $25 a month, which I think is great value. I use it a lot more than I think most business owners because I just see value in that. I can get.
Yep.
I don't go to my gym. I own this expensive fucking gym full of all this equipment, like $100,000 worth of equipment. Those body bikes are $40,000.
Yep.
I own, and all the Les Mills bars and stuff and everything. But sometimes it's nice to be at home and I'll just like, I don't even have to wear my leggings.
Yep.
I just put on a pair of undies and a bra and I'm
Yep.
bloody doing body pump in my
Yep.
room. Or I'm doing body balance in the bedroom before class. The
Yep.
other night, oh God, here's a story for you. You're absolutely going to die. I've got an Apple Watch and, you know, you've got your move ring.
Yep.
Anyway, the text message between three of my girlfriends, one's my best mate and then another mate, and we've all got Apple Watches, and then we always get to the end of the day and it's like, oh, you've got like 60 calories to close your move ring.
Yep.
So I was drunk. Like, I'd had some wine. Anyway, my husband's lying in bed. He's all naked. He's laying there like this in bed. Anyway, and he was just watching me. And I've got a glass of wine in my hand and I'm like doing tone practice. I was like, oh, I'm just going to practice tone 13 for a couple of weeks' time. I've got a glass of wine in my hand. I've got the iPad on the thing and I'm doing tone 13. I cranked up the speaker as well. So I'm there. Can't even lunge because I'm so drunk, but happy drunk. Anyway, I went to do a push-up, put my wine glass down and I went to do a push-up on the floor. I was like, oh, fuck this. So I'm on the bed and I'm doing push-ups on the bed next to Michael. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Look at yourself. I was like, I've got to close my move ring.
Yeah, you've got to get...
Oh, my God.
I've got to get 60 calories done. Move over.
I think it was like 140. I was sweating. I'm trying to drink my red wine. He's like, do not spill any wine on the carpet. And I was like, oh, but I've got 14 calories to go. And I was like, and then it got to a track and it had jump squats. And I was like, oh, no.
No.
No, I couldn't even lunge straight. And I'm like, glass of wine, trying to do lunges, trying to learn tone 13. And then Michael's just lying in bed and he's just like this under the covers. And I was like, are you all right? And he goes, oh, fuck, you should see yourself. Hey? But this is shit.
My cheeks are sore from laughing.
So Les Mills on Demand gets a 0 stars for me on that one.
I love it. I love it.
Here's a story for you. But we also, this is how far we have been with like our members, like the community we have with our guys. We had one of our members, Rose. She's an OT for kids with special needs.
Yep.
So she left us a year ago, devastating. Like we called her a unicorn because she could never fuck up. I never wanted to take classes with her because she was always so perfect. And there's me. Everyone says I Jess Mills everything.
Yep.
So it won't be part of the choreography. And then I'll be teaching an instructor and they'll go, oh, was that a Jess Mills? And I was like, yeah. Anyway, but I never taught with Rose because she was so perfect. Oh, heaven forbid, I'd make a mistake and I'd be like, oh, sorry, Rose. Anyway, so she moved over to Sydney because business, work opportunities and stuff.
Yep.
Anyway, so when she left, we still, because she had such a major role with our members and even the ones that didn't know her so well, we still now get her to do live classes on our Facebook page.
Love it.
Do you know, and it's good for her. So it's not just about our members, Tony. It's like Rose, I messaged her because she's in Sydney and she's in lockdown. And I said, hey, do you want to do a MetaFit and a freestyle-ish, whatever class? Anyway, she goes, oh, I'm actually working. And I said, I don't care. Do you want to just record it and then put it up? And you know, we even get people now that will be like, oh, I went back and I did Rose's MetaFit class from COVID last year.
Love it.
Because they couldn't get to the gym.
Yeah.
So, you know, they can have a Les Mills on Demand app, but they still go and choose to go and watch a live video from a year ago for a chick that doesn't even live here anymore that bailed on us.
Yep.
This is the sense of community that we have. And do you know when she came, she did a live class not long ago. I can't remember when it was. I was crying.
Yep.
I miss her face. I miss her energy. I just miss her. She's a good friend and she's a very good friend. But that's how much like a staff member means to me. But what emotion she draws from our, you know, and people like, we miss you. And, you know, you don't get that anywhere else. You don't get that in big gyms and you know, and this is like having this chat has made, like, I would never give up on the shed and I'm not going to close at the end of the year, but you know, like you always have those thoughts, like, is it worth my tears? Is it worth my the government telling me that, or my accountant telling me last year, oh, you might as well close your doors because you're not going to survive BAS 2 and 3 this year. And, you know, like, I don't know, you look back and you're just like, fuck, it's wonderful. Like, it's honestly just, I don't know how to put it into words. I think all the shit that you go through, and then you have like a live class like that, and you see one of your best mates and what joy she brings to just a handful of people.
Yeah.
Like, okay, my $3,000 tax debt. Oh, gross.
Yep.
Get on live screen and make me cry, girl.
Yep. It's real. It's real.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that I couldn't give it up.
Yeah. Don't.
No.
That's what I'll say to you. Don't give it up. Don't do it. You know, you've had an amazing journey to get you where you are. Yeah. Don't give it up. You've spent too much time. Let me ask you this then. What would you do if you did give up? What would you do?
That's what I said to my accountant. I said, this is my identity. And she goes, oh, she's a black and white lady. So black and white as in she just sees the figures. She goes, money, money, money. It doesn't make enough money. I said, yeah, but it makes money to pay its bills and a little bit extra. I'm happy with that. And I can pay my tax bill. So I'm happy with that. She goes, yeah, but you don't draw a wage. Well, I choose a lot. And this is what Michael and I have always said, that I could go and earn a shitload of money doing something. Like, I can go out and get a job and earn a lot more money. Do I want to? Fuck no. Like, my lifestyle and my mental health means more to me than working, having money in the bank. Like,
let me ask you this. Do you want it to make a little bit of money?
Oh, it makes money.
Yeah, but do you want it to make a little bit more? Do you want some?
No,
do you want some help? Do you want some help?
Oh, hello. Do
you want some help?
Are you going to send people my way?
You and I can chat.
It just, I don't know. I did a nutrition course last year. I failed my exam. I just missed a bit on the last exam, like the case study, and it was just to do with PCOS. Did I want to be a nutritionist? No. No. I like movement. I like the vibe. I did it because I wanted to destroy, because it was science-based, and I wanted to destroy all the myths surrounding diet, like what I went through with eating disorders. I went in through that way. Are people listening to me? Fuck no. They're just looking at the next diet, the next shake, the next pill. They don't give a fuck. I am just one person. I'm not this big brand, and it just felt deflated. And that's part of my breakdown last year.
Yeah. No, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. You've learned from that and sort of gone, okay, you know what? That's not me. It's not. It's you gave it a shot. You know, people weren't listening. Cool, righto. Move on to the next thing. This industry is big enough for you to be able to go, cool, what is next? Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time to have a chat to me about everything you've shared. Yeah. Everything you have shared is raw. It is real. It is what's happening in the industry. And I appreciate you spending time having a chat with me this afternoon. Well, that's all for this chat. I hope you got something out of it and liked what you heard. If you'd like to get in touch, head on over to the website www.groupx.com.au. May we meet again.